I feel good, just ready and excited.
Obviously, you went through your first loss as a pro last time out. Is there anything that you learned from that fight that will help you get back in the win column this time around?
Yeah, for sure. There was a lot of mistakes done on the last fight, on the last camp. So I'm just excited to go out there and show all the corrections that were made.
And even though you went through your first loss, the UFC still placed you high up on this main card. You still have a lot of people supporting you and excited to see your fight. What does it mean to you knowing that there's still a lot of people high on your potential as a fighter despite going through that first loss?
It means a lot, even being on the main card on a good spot. It's a good fight card and still being on the main card. So I'm just excited to this time, like it's a good opportunity for my comeback, and I'm gonna have a lot of eyes on me on my comeback. So I'm just excited, and this time aprovechar la oportunidad.
And your opponent, Terrence Mitchell, he respects that you're here at such a young age. What do you make of him as your opponent, and what did you learn from his last fight?
I respect him too. He's a very experienced fighter from his last fight. Um, I know he took the fight like 2 weeks notice. I know it was a short notice fight for him. So, so yeah, I expect the best from him on Saturday night. I expect a war, but I'm just ready to get my hand raised on Saturday night.
And obviously, Saturday night, Noche UFC, first time the UFC does a Mexican Independence Day card. How special was it for you when you got the call that you're going to be on this card, and even better knowing that you're going to fight in front of your fans?
I got really happy. It's a very special day. Um, and I know 16th of September is going to go down in the books for UFC history for sure. The card is really good from top to bottom, and I'm just glad to be part of it. And more than anything, on my comeback, it's a good spot and a good day because I get to go out there and put on a show for all my people. I know it's going to be a lot of Latinos supporting, so I'm excited to raise the flag on Saturday night.
And so I mentioned Latinos. I'm going to do one in Spanish real quick. ¿Tienes algún mensaje para los aficionados que van a ver tu pelea este sábado?
Sí, nomás esperen un buen show, lo voy a dar lo mejor de mí y va a ser un paso más cerca al campeonato, entonces pues no se lo pierdan porque vengo con todo a corregir todos los errores que se hicieron en la última pelea y muchas gracias por todo el apoyo a todos.
Gracias.
Raul, right over here in the middle, right here. Raul, since the last fight, we spoke at UFC X and talked about, hey, just going back to the gym, back to work and everything. Now with another fight coming up, what are you most excited to show in terms of your growth that you could tell us?
I'm just excited to show my improvements on everything, every single detail you can think of, my cardio, my grappling, my wrestling, my striking. I'm just ready for whatever, and I'm going to show whatever I have to show. Depends how long the fight goes because I'm going to be looking for the finish every moment. But this time I'm going to set a pace and everything, so it's gonna be a fun night.
I know you were on the road for your last fight. How does it feel to have another fight back here? You can do media at the Apex, back where you did Contender Series and everything else. I mean, is it more comfortable fighting here in Las Vegas?
Yeah, for sure. I feel comfortable fighting here in Las Vegas, so I'm excited because I like the vibe in T-Mobile. On my UFC debut, since I fought at T-Mobile, I like the vibe, and I knew I wanted to come back and fight at T-Mobile. I like how there's a lot of Mexican supporters. Like when I came out last time, there was a lot of Mexico flags, so I can only imagine this time.
Thank you.
Raúl, gracias por hablar con la prensa para tu pelea el sábado. Si nos puedes contar qué pudiste aprender de ti mismo, desde el apoyo en tu casa, en tu equipo, la gente que te pudo decir, hey, no te agüites con esa derrota para mejorar tu carrera y poder seguir al próximo nivel.
No, pues se pudo aprender mucho, la verdad. Por ejemplo, la gente que en verdad me quiere y la gente que no más estaba ahí por no sé, pero por ejemplo, todo pasó muy rápido cuando yo agarré mi contrato y todo, pues toda la gente se arrimó como si fueran mis amigos. Entonces, ahorita que vengo de una pérdida, pues más que nada pude ver quiénes son los verdaderos. Entonces ya hasta los puedo contar con los dedos de mis manos. Y estoy agradecido, pues, no, claro que a nadie le gusta perder, pero tomé lo mejor de la pérdida, miré el lado positivo y este sábado no va a pasar lo mismo, ya vengo con más, entonces nomás estoy emocionado para demostrarlo.
Gracias. Y con cualquier triunfo o derrota siempre hay una lección. ¿Qué pudiste aprender de ti mismo? ¿Y cuáles son de las cosas que has mejorado desde ese último visita al octágono?
Pues pude aprender que soy duro de finalizar, de que me acaben en una pelea. Pude aprender mucho y la verdad nomás corregí todos los errores porque fueron muchos errores que se cometieron en esa pelea. Todos hicieron el trabajo, mi equipo, todos, nomás yo les fallé, entonces no les quiero volver a fallar. Y entrené muy duro para no hacer esos errores otra vez y ahora sí poner un buen show.
Gracias. Y finalmente para mí, te hemos visto antes con tu sombrero de algo así para que puedas capturar la energía, especialmente que es independencia de México y todo. ¿Vas a tener algo especial o para el pesaje o para la pelea cuando salgas, cuando hagas tu walkout?
Sí, para la pelea voy a tener algo especial. Ya que no permiten banderas, pues tengo que representar y poner la bandera en alto de alguna forma, representar la cultura. Entonces, pues voy a salir con el sombrero el día de mi pelea y estoy emocionado porque sé que se va a aprender y se va a poner bueno en T-Mobile y ya nomás estamos listos.
Gracias, man. Buena suerte el sábado, Raúl.
Gracias.
Hey, Raul. Just a quick one. Who do you think is going to win the main event, Alexei Rosso or Vera Valentina?
I have a lot of respect for both fighters. I like Alexa, you know, she's representing our country and stuff. Like, I really like how she fights too. It was a really great fight. But I also seen Valentina fight a lot. I know she's a beast. So I respect both of them, but I'm not gonna choose on that one.
Uh, what do you think of Sean Strickland winning the title last weekend?
That's good for him. You know, everybody doubted him, but he believed in himself, maybe his team. But more than anything, he believed that he could do it, and he got it done. You know, so good to him.
Thanks.
Raul, real quick. The last time you fought was your first professional defeat. On a personal level, did that change anything about your mentality, about how you handle your career or the way that you were doing things?
No, to be honest, the only thing the loss changed was my record. You know, that's the only thing that changed.
Yeah. And you entered the UFC with tons of hype. I mean, you still obviously have it. You're the youngest fighter on the UFC roster, and you were talking about, why not fight multiple weight classes, belts. And, there are some people that are saying, oh, with that loss, maybe he should kind of hold back a little bit on the call-outs and this and that. What would you have to say to those people that say, like, perhaps that you're biting a bit more than you can chew?
I don't gotta say nothing to them. You know, they can say whatever they want. I know my goals. I know what I'm capable of. So I'm gonna go out there and get it if I want it. You know, and I do want it. So I'm gonna go out there and get it. And yeah, they can just keep talking. They can keep saying whatever they want. Everybody has the free to say whatever they want. So I don't really care.
Yeah. And the fan reaction of your first defeat, how was it like handling that on like a social media perspective? Because you got tons of attention, and social media nowadays is quite crazy. Did you get a lot of hate?
For sure. Probably I got more love than hate, you know, just everybody telling me since I lost that they can't wait to see me come back, you know, so I appreciate that, but of course there was hate too. But I knew this is how the sport is, you know, even like I said, even if Khabib came back and lost, the fans would turn their back on him, you know, so because every time I would go to a UFC event, a couple times I did, and I saw like a star fighting on the show, and he lost. Everybody turned their back on him. So we knew since we were little that that's how the sport is. So it doesn't really matter.
Yeah. And from a technical standpoint, for you to kind of still, get back in the winning ways and all that, like what were some of the things that, looking at that loss, you realized you needed to add to your game or change up? What is it, sort of the next step of evolution for you?
More than anything, have a game plan, have a strategy. But yeah, like I said, there was thousands of mistakes made on my last fight that I can't even count. So yeah, I just made sure to correct every single one, and it made me a better fighter now. So I'm excited to go out there and show how much I've improved in this couple months. So yeah.
Yeah. Goal still the same, youngest UFC champion in history?
Yeah, for sure. Everything I've said in the past, all the goals I've said in the past, nothing has changed. Everything remains the same. Everything I meant it. If you bring something up that I said in the past, I'll still admit to it. You know, like I still think the same way. Nothing has changed.
Y un par en español bien rápido. ¿Qué significa ser parte de Noche UFC, este evento que la UFC está haciendo para resaltar el talento mexicano y obviamente la independencia de México? ¿Qué se siente ser parte de este evento histórico que es el primero en la compañía?
No, pues se siente padre, ¿no? Es un sentimiento bonito de poder formar parte de una cartelera así. Como lo dije, es una buena cartelera desde el comienzo hasta el final. Yo sé que el 16 de septiembre, el sábado, va a ser una noche que va a ir a la historia de UFC porque es la primera vez que hacen un evento así para los mexicanos en un día tan especial. Entonces, nomás estoy agradecido por la oportunidad de poder formar parte de esta cartelera y la voy a aprovechar.
¿Te gustaría que UFC hiciera esto algo ya tradición anualmente, todos los 16 o fin de semana, que hiciera este tipo de evento para resaltar el talento mexicano y no sé, un día de pronto tú hasta encabezando este tipo de evento?
La verdad sí, me gustaría que lo hicieran cada vez, entonces el sábado van a ver que hay mucho talento mexicano, van a ver que no se van a arrepentir de lo que están haciendo este sábado, pero la verdad estaría más chido si para la otra en vez de Las Vegas lo podemos mover a la Ciudad de México o a cualquier parte de México, creo que estaría mejor, pero este sábado nomás van a tener una probadita de cómo peleamos los mexicanos y cómo se prende el show y van a ver que necesitan, que el momento para llevar la UFC a México es ahora.
Y por último, ya me comentaste en inglés, pero si puedes comentar en español, las enseñanzas que te dejó tu último combate donde pues sufriste tu primera derrota como profesional.
Me dejó muchas enseñanzas, no nomás en la pelea, sino en la vida. Entonces estoy agradecido, como lo digo, a nadie le gusta perder, pero nomás miro el lado positivo y estoy agradecido por todas las enseñanzas que me dio. Entonces ya nomás estoy listo para demostrar todos los errores que corregimos de la última pelea. Y sí, por ejemplo, como lo digo, ahora puedo contar mis amigos con los dedos de mis manos y por eso estoy agradecido porque sí pude ver muchas cosas aparte de la pelea que pude ver.
Muchas gracias.
Just want to chime back in here real quick. I know it's been a couple months, but you actually trained with the former undisputed bantamweight champion Aljamain Sterling. How was that experience like for you?
For sure, I realized I needed from my last fight, that's another thing I realized I needed to be in a more competitive MMA room. Like I needed higher level training partners. So, you know, it was a good experience training with Aljo and picking his brain a little bit on some things, since he already has more experience. So yeah, I was able to learn some few things from him.
And I just want to get your thoughts on that UFC 292 bantamweight showdown between Sterling and O'Malley.
That was crazy. I didn't expect that, but it brings more attention to the division having a champion like Sean O'Malley. He brings a lot of attention, a lot of hype. So now the division got interested, and I'm just excited to see how it unfolds because I know there's a lot of top level fighters on the top five that match up good with Sean O'Malley. And you also have good up and comers like Umar Nurmagomedov. So it's just going to be exciting by the time I get there to see who has the belt.